good afternoon, good evening, of course, depending from where you're hearing my voice from. Yes, I guess anywhere you are, you definitely, can hear me loud and clear. Of course, this is the Biafra Golden Child, and I'm super, super happy, to come your way again. It's a brand new week. It's a brand new, this is some of the last, I guess it's about the last week of this month of June. Yeah. This month really ran like fire. It was running speed like a speed racer. Month of June and the rest of the months that have gone, I've been running like a speed racer. You know, between January and June seems to be just maybe like just 2 months, but we are talking 6 months almost gone. Now we're looking at half of the year, starting from maybe just over a week and 2 days now. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Biafrans, it's a pleasure to come your way again. I am always excited when I interact with you. I'm excited when we, have this constant and continuous interactions. Yes, things are going on smoothly, hopefully for all of us, and I believe it will get better. It will only get better by the grace of God. I wish everybody well. I pray somehow, that things will fall into favorable and pleasant places for you and I. Thank you and God bless. Yeah, for my audio this morning, a fan, sent me a voice note. And amongst the things he said was, sir, with Simon Ekpa, with Simon Ekpa's imminent release, what's going to happen to the DPM and the USB? With Simon Ekpa's imminent release, what's going to happen to the DPM and the USB? Of course, what he seems to be saying is the way it's going, and with what feelers we are getting from Finland, it's very much likely that the Finnish authorities, have come to reason, haven't come to their senses, are likely going to release our able Prime Minister Simon Ekpa any moment soon. And what he is asking is, if Simon Ekpa is eventually released now, what's going to happen to the DPM and the USB? By DPM, I know he meant to the Biafra uh, Deputy Prime Minister and former Chief of Staff, Dr. Ngozi Orabueze. And by the USB, I know he meant the redeclared sovereign United States of Biafra. So in effect, his question is, with Simon Ekpa's imminent release, what's going to happen to the Deputy Prime Minister and the United States of Biafra? You know, this was what he sent to me. I mean, it came to me like a jolt. Yes, I was jolted. It was like somebody coming out from, you know, maybe here you are thinking some nostalgic, you know, having some nostalgic feelings about one thing or the other. Or here you are reminiscing about some beautiful holiday or some tax that has to be done. Here you are wondering how the month is and the year is running so fast. And here is somebody telling you that with your Prime Minister's imminent release, Simon Ekpa's imminent release, what's going to happen to the Deputy Prime Minister and the United States of Biafra, the redeclared sovereign United States of Biafra? Well, I thought I should not just reply him, although I did reply him and told him my mind, but I thought I should equally bring to, the public domain what my response was to him. So, ladies and gentlemen, I crave your indulgence. Let me reply him or tell you what I replied him. Yes, I want to tell you what I told him after he asked, with Simon Ekpa's imminent release, what's going to happen to the Deputy Prime Minister and the USB, the redeclared United States of Biafra. So, yeah, dear fan and everybody else, fellow Biafrans, I think it's very, very important to once again elucidate and clarify that everything concerning Biafra and the United States of Biafra, the redeclared sovereign United States of Biafra, is beyond and above personality. I want it to be on record that this is about the opting time I'm saying this. I have said times without number that Biafra is not about anybody. Biafra is not about Lady Modumego Ojukwu. Biafra is not about uh, Chief Wazuike. No. Former Masop fame. No. Biafra is not about uh, our maximum leader, Mazen Nandekano. Biafra is not about Simon Ekpa. No. Even now, Biafra is not about, our Deputy Prime Minister, Dr. Ngozi Orabueze. Of course, the United States of Biafra, the redeclared sovereign United States of Biafra, is all-encompassing, is beyond personality, is beyond characterization of an individual. Yes, it is a conglomerate, to say, people's way of life. It is a dynamic people's way of life, comprising every Biafran. And so every Biafran is important, extremely relevant in the scheme of things as far as the United States of Biafra is concerned. There's no particular person who has you know a special mention, or who is at the peak of the echelon of United States of Biafra. What you might have at any point in time is yes, because nature abhors vacuum, is a leader. So you can talk of people who occupy leadership positions, but never that these positions are permanent or rubber stamped to such people. No. We recognize the importance, eminent importance of our maximum leader, Mazen Namdekano, who is still, undergoing trial in the, in the dungeon uh, under the Justice James Omotoshaw's High Court at Abuja. Even though for now the case has been, momentarily uh, kept in abeyance, because the Justice James Omotosho said, the prosecuting attorneys, defending attorneys who are ably and capably defending our maximum leader, Mazen Namdekano, that they should go back, consider the witnesses, the exhibits, and everything pertaining to the trial so far. So that, having looked into this, they want to, it wants them to make an assessment. Is there a need for trial? Should the trial continue, or should Mazi Namdekano be released and asked to go? So that is the uh, current position of things. And from all likelihood, we are very expectantly hoping, with great expectations, that our maximum leader, Mazen Namdekano, will scale the hurdle. Because, of course, we know he has eminent defense attorneys, you know, the, that is, ably and capably, championed by Chief Kanu Agabi, two-time Attorney General of and Minister for Justice of Nigeria, and several eminent sons, of course, including Chief Aloysius Ejimako, who has been, his right-hand defense attorney from the word go. So, ladies and gentlemen, we believe Mazen Namdekano is in good hands. We believe that the odds favor him, and we believe that, yes, with especially the international uh, uh, touch to it, which was brought by the 47th President of the United States, Mr. Donald Trump, sending two envoys to go and, you know, go and watch the proceedings of the last two trials. Let us know the one of 18th and the one of 19th. We want to know uh, what is at stake. Let us see if the Nigerian government have not been listening to us, have not been reading our messages, and don't want to desist from unlawful and illegal, detention, rendition, and trial of this Nnamdi Kanu, who is simply a freedom fighter, for his people. Simply a man who is bringing the plight of his people, the Biafrans, to the purview of the world and saying, enough is enough. Give my people the break. If you don't want them, if you don't want to accept them, if you continue to treat them like second-class fiddles and second-class citizens, then of course, let them go, which is a very, very legitimate claim. Yes, Mr. Donald Trump was very emphatic to say it is a legitimate claim and fully within the ambit of law, to talk about the plight of your people, to bring the plight of your people, to open, pavilion so that the whole world will hear him. So punishing him, intimidating him, harassing him, arresting him, and put him under DSS dungeon that is less than acceptable human standards is totally out of it and totally illegal and inhuman and unjustified. So we believe with such a high-ranking support for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and the Biafra cause, we believe Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is on a safe coast to, freedom, unconditional freedom. Yeah, likewise too, we're talking about uh, Simon Ekpa, our prime minister, who was the leader of the Biafra regional government in exile at Lahti, Finland. Simon Ekpa also equally has garnered attention of eminent world leaders, including again the United States 47th president. And of course, despite the fact that the Nigerian government intended and almost succeeded in making Alexander Stubb, the president of Finland, to derail from democratically accepted modus operandi and modus vivendi. We saw how, Alex has soft-pedaled, and all of a sudden Finland immediately have started respecting the rights and privileges of our Prime Minister Simon Ekpa, and they have treated him, with immense respect and dignity, signaling that, of course, they recognize that he's a dual citizen. He's a Nigerian, but equally is a Finnish citizen. And as a Finnish citizen and a citizen of Europe, he deserves some fundamental, human rights recognition and respect. So his trial has assumed a much more, well, legal, uh, rule of law, respecting, and fairness, equity, and justice is eventually coming in, such that we are particularly highly gratified that, yes, any moment from now, Simon Ekpa, our able prime minister, our indefatigable prime minister, our sagacious prime minister, would bring a lot of happiness home when he's fully released unconditionally from Finnish interrogation and uh, um trials. So, ladies and gentlemen, right now, I think I want to address what this gentleman asked me. With Simon Ekpa's imminent release, what's going to happen to the DPM, Dr. Ngozi Orabueze, and the United States of Biafra, redeclared the United States of Biafra. So, ladies and gentlemen, for the avoidance of doubt, I have clarified here that Biafra, like I said earlier, has no personality uh, as its alter ego. No way. Everybody in Biafra is important. Everybody's playing, roles and uh, assuming delegated authorities. Even our maximum leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, is playing a prominent role. He is the harbinger of the current, Biafra uh, uh, self-determination pursuit. He's the harbinger of it. He engendered it. Of course, he inherited it from other people. But he has come and has vigorously, tirelessly, and boldly, without fear of favor, brought attention of the Biafra to the world again. The Biafra secessionist ambition, because of course we have been treated, unduly, we have been treated unruly, we have been marginalized, we have been exposed to all kinds of odium and opprobrium. We are still suffering, you know, uh, for having fought a civil war with Nigeria. We are still suffering because they accused the Biafrans have been the ones who spearheaded the 1966 coup, where Tafa Balewa and the Sultan of Sokoto was killed. Ladies and gentlemen, Simon, our maximum leader, Mazen Namdekanu, is a prominent and very, very highly significant figure as far as we are concerned. Highly, highly significant figure as far as the United States of Biafra movement is concerned. So there's no two ways about it. Currently, Simon Ekpa enjoys the prime ministership of Biafra, uh, either as Biafra regional government in exile or the redeclared United States of Biafra. Mind you, and we must not forget, including my fan, I want you to note this. Mind you, it was Simon Ekpa who fixed December 2nd, 2024 as a date for the redeclaration of the United States of Biafra. And so when we begin to see a shift from Biafra regional government in exile to USB, United States of Biafra, we shouldn't think it happened in isolation. No, Simon Ekpa was the one who vigorously, who ostensibly, clearly, and without fear of favor, earmarked the date, the period, the timing of the redeclared United States of Biafra. In fact, you should remember too that he was um, yeah, he had already fixed conferences. He had fixed international conferences where people were coming from all walks of life, from everywhere. Europe, the Americas, China, Indonesia. People were coming from Germany, from everywhere, and it was supposed to be to converge, and have a peaceful deliberation that will climax in the redeclared United States of Biafra for December 2nd, 2024. Unfortunately, he was arrested, towards the end of November. And of course, we are happy to note that there was no limbo, there was nothing, there was no space, for inactivity. It was the same Simon Ekpa who passed the baton down to, the former uh, chief of staff, Dr. Ngozi Orabueze. It was the same Simon Ekpa who told Ngozi Orabueze to go on, make sure you redeclare the United States of Biafra. Make sure the whole world witnesses the redeclaration. Make sure the international conference at Lati would go on, Lati, Finland. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I think it was a good one. Our prime minister was arrested, being interrogated and under the suspicion of creating a surreptitious secessionist agenda that made Nigeria and particularly the Southeast ungovernable. Of course, we know how it happened. We know how Emilio Khan, his vice, uh, uh, his foreign minister, Yusuf Truga, and of course, this foreign affairs minister for state, our own uh, mm, Bianca Ojukwu, orchestrated a plot that got Simon arrested and incarcerated. But that's not where I'm dwelling now. I'm particularly more interested in what happened after. Ladies and gentlemen, is to the chagrin, to shame of Nigeria and the zoo government that despite the arrest and you know and the incarceration of Simon Ekpa, our prime minister, the unit, the redeclared United States of Biafra was fully redeclared on 2nd December 2024. It shocked the whole world. Ladies and gentlemen, it shocked the whole world. I mean, everybody thought Emilio Khan and his group, Emilio Khan and his deputy, his vice, and all his allies had expected that as soon as Simon Ekpa was arrested, you know, that the Biafrans would have scampered. Everybody would have scampered away, scampered for safety. People would have vanished, and everything about Biafra would have been left in the lodge, you know, would have died naturally. Unfortunately, we are people who serve Yahweh, and we know that a mustard seed, when it grows, becomes super monstrous and gigantic, and that is what has happened. Of course, it happened in the hands of our Deputy Prime Minister, former Chief of Staff, Dr. Ngozi Orabueze. She came in boldly, resisting all the intimidations, resisting all the uh, uh, of course, a lot of macho men said she shouldn't. Everybody fought against her. She resisted all the gender uh, um, manipulations and hatred, that was posed and posted to her. She resisted every attempt to frustrate her, to annihilate Biafra, to destroy the ambition of Biafra, and to prevent the redeclaration on 2nd December 2024. Of course, she did, fearlessly, boldly, sacrificing all that she had, putting her life at risk. She still redeclared the United States of Biafra as a sovereign nation, the same Finland, the same Latin Finland. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's not a mean feat. It's not a mean feat. This is a great achievement. This is something that is, worth celebrating. I will tell you the truth. My dear fan, you wrote me, you are asking with Simon Ekpa's imminent release, what's going to happen to Deputy Prime Minister Ngozi Orabueze in the United States of Biafra. My dear fan and dear friends, nothing is going to happen. Nothing is going to happen. Simon Ekpa's release, imminent release, is something we're praying for and something we're all hoping for. When it comes out, and by the grace of God, he comes out successfully, without any qualms, without any encumbrances. When he comes out free and becomes a free man, of course, he automatically, is welcome back to United States of Biafra. And of course, we will continue the way it is. Yes, Dr. Ngozi Orabueze is holding in lieu. Take it or leave it. She's holding in lieu. And I make bold to say this. Simon Ekpa Njoku, Mazen Nandekano, and Dr. Ngozi Orabueze are prominent leaders of Biafra, and each of them works in tandem with one another. Within them, there is no tussle for power. Within them, there is no ambition to override the other. Everybody acts on a delegated authority. And we have seen how it is. We have seen how it is from the very beginning. It started with the arrest of Mazen Namdekano, who passed the baton down to Simon Ekpa. And Simon took it up. A youthful man, a young man, an athletic man, very athletic, but still he took it up and continued vigorously, unstoppably to shine the light on Biafra and hope for the redeclared United States of Biafra. And of course, when he had given a date for 2nd December 2024, and when it was obvious that he had been betrayed by those he trusted and those he loved, his own kith and kin, his own fellow Biafrans, people of Biafran extractions, sold him out. They sold him out thinking it will be over with Simon Ekpa. It will be over with the Biafran dream. It will be over with any further declaration or redeclaration of United States of Biafra. They thought it would be over. They thought they could go and enjoy, the porridge, the mere porridge that was given to them by Milocon and his government of the zoo. They thought we'll just sell him out like Judas did with a kiss. Sell him out with a kiss, enjoy our money, and let's see what happens to Biafra later. But they were highly flabbergasted, very much disappointed. In fact, they were put to shame when they saw a woman who had a medical history, a woman who was a nurse, who was an American citizen, a woman who had everything going for her, but who said, no, I must fight for the protection of Biafra. I must put my life for the, redeclared United States of Biafra. I must fill the gap. Step in. I must fill the gap. No, I won't let Simon Ekpa down. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know it now. Dr. Ngozi Orabueze is a stallion, an elegant stallion. She is an elegant stallion, the queen of the pack, the very woman who said, no. I don't care what happens to me. I don't care what happens to my family. I don't care what happens to my career. I'm going to stand up. I'm going to fight for Biafra. I don't care if I spill my blood. I don't care if I die in the process. I don't care who is going to shoot me. But I'm going to put my life on the line for Biafra. Simon Ekpa's arrest and all the efforts he has done for Biafra will not be in vain. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu's vigorous efforts worldwide until he's kidnapped, or what they call rendition from Kenya, will not be in vain. I'm going to hold the mantle. I accept the baton from Simon Ekpa, and I'm going to hold the mantle, and I assure you there ain't no looking back. That is the elegant stallion. That is Dr. Ngozi Orabueze, giving it with all she's got, hitting it with all she got. And I'm happy, ladies and gentlemen, my dear fan, wherever you are, I'm happy to tell you today that she has succeeded. Dr. Ngozi Orabueze, the Deputy Prime Minister of the USB, United States of Biafra, has succeeded in putting Biafra back into the map of the world, in bringing Biafra back into the cognition of the world, in registering Biafra as a redeclared sovereign United States. So, ladies and gentlemen, there's no vacuum, there's no acrimony, there's no hatred, there's no power tussle whatsoever. Everybody is working, together, because they know each of us, they know that together each of them will do more. Together, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu will do more when he works with Simon Ekpa, when he works with our Deputy Prime Minister and all the other executives. Together, we each will do more. I think that's a good one. Together, we each will do more. Biafra is not about a person. Biafra is not a personality. Biafra is about a people who have put their lives in their hands, taking it boldly by the tail. We want to achieve it. We'll take it by the throat. We want to succeed. This is not just like what happened between 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, when Nigeria subjected us to, unplanned war, when they fought innocent people and forced us to defend ourselves. No, this time around our eyes are wide open. We're not going to be intimidated. We're not waiting for any Abuja Accord. What we're waiting for is that our people, all Biafrans, put all hands on deck, and make sure that we fight vigorously, we pursue vigorously, and we support vigorously the redeclared United States of Biafra. I think that's very, very, very important. Let's not act like the zoo, like the rat race in the zoo, where everybody's thinking of positions, where everybody's thinking to remain. These are people who had the election in February 2023, 4 years tenure. They've not even gone 2 years, and they are fighting for 2027. That is the highest level of human decadence and lack of integrity and morality. That shows they have nothing to offer. If you have something to offer, you would want to first of all, complete your tenure. Do this one. Let us see if you get a pass mark, you move to the next class. Nobody's promoted when you have not done exams. Nobody's promoted when you have not passed your exams. How can you be thinking of 2027 when you have not performed in 2025? That is arrant nonsense. Totally, totally out of sync with normal human relationships. So, as far as United States of Biafra is concerned, there'll be zero tolerance for this kind of political futility, where people jump from one party, you get an election elected in one party, you jump to another party, and you still want to remain elected when you have dumped your party. Everybody wants to join the center. Everybody wants to join the APC because Emilio has guaranteed them that when you move with me, when you support me, you are sure you will continue with me. It's very unfortunate, highly unfortunate, especially with leaders from the Southeast who should have known better. I mean, our own brothers and sisters. The governor of the Anambra State, a professor of economics, opened his mouth and was telling Tinubu, you are the best thing that happened to Ndebo. You have brought light. You are the highest president who have recognized Ndebo. And I assure you, we will continue to serve you. We will be with you. We will be with you in 2027. Anambra will be with you. And I'll talk to the other Southeastern governors. This was Professor Chukwuma Soludo speaking, a Biafran, all because he wants to remain in authority, in power. He wants to continue to be a governor. He wants to continue to be in the right books of Emiloko. Look at David Omai, Engineer David Omai. two-time governor of Ebonyi State, today, works minister, telling Emilio, telling the Southeast governors, telling people from the Southeast, this is your greatest chance. If you lose it, you'll be sorry. If you lose this chance, you'll be sorry. Support BAT, support Emilio. Join him, join the APC. If you miss it, you'll be sorry for life, for the rest of your generation. This is the only man who can stop the marginalization. This is the only man who can make the Southeast like any other region. Stand behind him. Walk with him. This is your chance, or else you'll be sorry for life. Look at Orji Kalu, two-time governor of Abia State, 4 times a senator now, telling BAT, telling Milokon, I assure you, Your Excellency, that I will get 5 million votes from Abia State alone for you. I mean, it's very surprising. We are here talking ourselves hoarse, crying day and night, talking about Biafra, the redeclared United States of Biafra, and our kith and kin are daily selling us out because of mere porridge, because of course they want to continue to enjoy AGIP, any government in power. They want to continue to be relevant, to milk their people, to subdue their people, to carry the wealth of their states or the Southeast down to Emilio in the name of giving resounding receptions in their states, in the name of supporting him to win 2027. Oh boy, it's a sorry. But I have a breaking news for engineer David Omai. The people who will be sorry, the people who will be sorry are people like you, Engineer Omai, people like you, people like Professor Chukuma Soludo for Anambra, people like Opos Onemo of Imo State, people like Francis Wifro for Ebonyi State, all of you who have come, people like Senator Orji Kalu, all of you who have come here. You have betrayed the cause of Biafra. You have looked down and neglected Biafrans, your fellow Biafrans, because of course you are targeting Emilio and what you can get out of him. You want him to continue to steal from the common jar, the cookie jar that is meant for Nigeria, for the whole country. You want him to continue to steal. And by introspection, by extension, you too will begin to steal from your people. But I have a breaking news for you. The breaking news is that Biafra is a reality. The breaking news is that by the special grace of Yahweh, the redeclared United States of Biafra will garner respect and become a complete nation. And woe betide any of you. When we finish this fight, when we finish this struggle, when we realize our dreams, and you come and you say you want to be a leader. You know, I was a leader when we were in Nigeria. You know, I was a governor. You know, I was a senator. Woe betide each of you. Because at that point in time, in the United States of Biafra, we are going to turn our backs on you. We'll turn our backs 360 degrees from you. I make that as a promise. That is when you see us live and direct. And you know that what things you think you possess, you think the ill-gotten wealth you think you have, some of us have it, but yet, we sacrifice our time, we sacrifice our day, we sacrifice everything we have to talk Biafra, to breathe Biafra, to think Biafra, and to pursue the USB, the United States of Biafra. Ladies and gentlemen, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, Simon Ekpa, Deputy Prime Minister Dr. Ngozi Orabueze, as far as Biafra is concerned, are fighting for the same project. They already declared sovereign United States of Biafra. That's what we're fighting for. That's what they're fighting for. No more, no less. There's no personality struggle. If anyone is for any reason unavailable, the other one takes the mantle up. And all we know is that we're fighting towards the same goal. Forward ever, backward never. My dear fan who posted this message, thank you, for giving me this opportunity to expatiate on this. My fellow Biafrans, a word is enough for the wise. Let us be wise always. Let us stand up. Let us put our hands on deck. Pray, support, yes, and wish our Deputy Prime Minister, Dr. Ngozi Orabueze, every good opportunity, every good successes to achieve what she has set us to achieve for the redeclared United States of Biafra. Let us pray for the quick and unconditional release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Let us pray for the quick and unconditional release of Simon Ekpa. Njoku. Even if they come out, they will join the fold, and the strength of Biafra will much more even increase, empowered, and we'll do more. We'll work together as a team. God bless you all. Thank you, and bye-bye.
Yeah, Biafra, Biafra. Yeah, Superstar Media. Tell me about Biafra. We going back to the motherland. Tell me about Biafra. I wanna know. Tell me about Biafra. We going back to the motherland. Tell me about Biafra, Biafra. I wanna know. We going back to the land. We going back to the motherland. Biafra, Biafra. Tell me about Biafra. We going back to the land. Tell me about Biafra. We going back to the motherland. Tell me about Biafra, Biafra. Tell me about Biafra. We going back